Jimmy's Jam Box. Keep jamming. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Pumpkin Spice, a seasonal take on a classic chai. Organic black tea meets ginger, nutmeg, allspice, real pumpkin, and more, with a robust flavor that's guaranteed to fuel creativity. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. All right, thank y'all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary. The holidays might be over, but they're still here. Click the link below. Go get you some. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Yo, what's going on? This your guy, City the Great.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Man, pleasure to be here, Jim. Pleasure.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about, where you're from, what you do, give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Okay, well, hence to the name. I bounced around forever, but I originally was born in South Central LA. Stayed in South Central till about 7. Migrated a little bit with my mom. My mom was in the military or in the Navy, and I traveled with her through the Bay for a very, very short period of time. But for the most part of my life, I grew up in North Las Vegas.
Okay.
Lived in Vegas 22 years. Moved out there in 94.
Hell yeah.
But new to the Northwest. Oh. I mean, literally, if today's the 11th, I think tomorrow make a year I've been in the Northwest.
Welcome up here. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
What got you into music initially? Where was your starting point with that?
I would have to say my cousin, man. Shout out to my cousin, Riot. He started me with the music pretty much. Demo, just anything that you could think of back in the day as far as hip hop. He was one of those Kid and Play type dudes, you know what I'm saying? So him and his homeboy Ron Dishi back in the day, they had do dance dance setups. Yeah, matching Adidas sweaters.
Yeah.
And that was my closest cousin because both of my parents are only children. Mm-hmm. So I'm missing a whole generation. So my closest cousins when I was 2 years old is them they're 17, 18 years old.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, and my mom had me when she was 16. So she was into the hip hop vibe. Mm-hmm. And, watching that in South Central is crazy. He was doing the music, he had to dance, and also he's my big cousin. So it's seeing him, I just wanted to be Demo, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he actually took me to my first studio when I was 12. So
okay, shout
out my cousin DeMorris, man. Yeah, Suge, you know what's going on, Suge.
Oh, yeah. And then when you were first getting into music, so not prior to that, but after you started performing, or at least writing and thinking about getting into it more,
right?
Who were some of the people who influenced your early approaches to music?
Cameron.
Okay.
Cameron. Andre 3000. My Mount Rushmore is so abstract and way different than anybody else's.
Yeah. That's hopefully the goal for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I say Cameron played the biggest influence. Just the whole aspect. The hustle.
Mm-hmm.
The whole embodiment. You got to have your look together. Me, that Dipset era was just nostalgic for my style. And even before Dipset, I've been a Cam fan since 357 days. But just the whole confident in moving in business, not just being an artist, going to get that bag for you and your team. Yeah. That's one thing that I always admired about Cam. I love Cam's music, mm-hmm. but I more so respect him for his hustle outside of the music and the music.
The mentality.
Exactly. I take Andre 3000 for creativity. T.I. for creative expressiveness and, being able to be from environments where I ain't gonna lie, people be shocked to see me use kind of the vocabulary I use, but I like showing off my intelligence. I like showing that, hey, I know how to use these $50 quote unquote words. You know what I mean? Like,
it's funny. I just realized almost nobody mentions T.I. Like we talk about a lot of artists on the show. I mean, like a bunch of people get mentioned often, but it's surprising. I just realized how that's not a name that comes up, and it should be. Like, very much should be.
I have to say, like, I listen to the people that I listen to for their music, but to really resonate to me, you have to show the whole body of your brand.
Yeah.
So your hustle is what really attracts me to your music. Like, if you just doing the music and it's not really presented with the proper package, then I'm not going to attract to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
gotcha.
I can attract to it, T.I., because I can pinpoint a partner in my neighborhood that was RTI. You know what I'm saying? Not just because it's Tip, but, that's the thing that resonate with me. I kind of like try to find like certain people that the music really are like, man, Cam remind me of my uncle, man, Ron too. You know what I'm saying? Things like that, like, or so on and so forth.
No, I feel that.
But Cam, T.I., of course the regular greats. I just don't like going with the cliches, but for the most part, like Cam, T.I., and Andre is the epitome of City to Great.
That's a stacked list right there.
No, for real.
Way to start things off.
No, for real.
And then just a couple more foundation questions. And these are ones we ask every time. And this first one, we always ask it early, often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite.
Okay.
What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Okay. So shout out to anybody that's from Northtown, man. And if you remember, back in the 90s, on Fridays, we had what we called the discount mall. You know what I'm saying? And this is like the time of beepers and things of that nature. We had JJ Beepers, you had the discount mall. But you'll pull up to the discount mall, and on Friday, I just remember my mom's and my stepdad getting fly, but they'll always take us and they'll buy their cassettes for the weekend or for the night, whatever. And at this time, this one Pac out.
Yeah.
My first cassette, I saved up $16 to buy just the single of How Do You Want It?
Okay.
Pac and Jodeci.
Hell yeah.
That was my first purchase myself.
Do you still have it?
No, I wish.
Damn.
Oh, I wish. And I probably wouldn't have it. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm a businessman. It probably would have been sold.
No, you're
No, but that was the first one. But first song that just attracted to me, like, for music wise, was Domino Sweet Potato Pie.
Okay.
I don't know why I like that song. Just still to this day, like, it hit different for me, man. Like, this. I low-key thought he was like Kane from Menace to Society. And so, like, it was like, man, this dude act and it's raw. But I always loved that song, and I loved how he represented the West Coast and what he did in his music. And it was from an R&B perspective at a different time at that time. Oh, yeah. He was different for his time. True. Shout out Domino, because a lot of people don't talk about that guy.
True.
For real.
Oh, yeah. And then the last one for the foundation questions. What was the first live show that you ever went to? That was like one you wanted to go to. So not like one that like somebody took you along with. You saw that it was happening. You made it happen to get to go and see it.
Future and Drake.
Okay.
Now, that wasn't like you said, as far as me making it happen myself. Like, that was the first time I actually felt like on Famo, like, it was when What a Time to Be Alive came out. They was doing All Summer 16 tour in Vegas. Epic. Like, I don't know if people know, like, at that time, we had at the MGM a club called Hackerson. It was the #1 club in the world.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The T-Mobile Arena had just opened. That was the first concert to open the T-Mobile Arena. Also, as well, Future threw his after party at Dreas, which everybody is familiar with, which is epic. Any night, I got so many. 22 years in Vegas, I got so many concerts and nights on accidents, Wednesday night accidents. Oh, yeah. But like that show and then the after parties, because I actually went to the concert and then I went to Drake's after party at Hockenson, and then also as well, I left there and went to the after party for Future at Dreas, and that was just like,
oh yeah, so you just covered all of it.
Epic night, like one of those I don't want it to ever end. Like I was mad to go to sleep. Like that was one of the ones you had to pass out.
You saw the sun coming up, and you're like, all right.
Beyond the sun, we 2 days later, like like still feeling it. Like summer 16, that was the epic one, man.
Man, that's got to be a powerful experience for sure.
Man, shout out Drizzy, my OVO brother.
Oh yeah. I mean, Drake, if you ever want to be on the show,
man, we gonna line it up. I'm gonna holler at him.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, now let's go ahead and let's get to know you as the current artist, the today.
Okay.
And we're gonna get the super easy one out of the way. How did you pick your name?
Funny. I say I'm fairly new to the Northwest, but I lived out here a short period of time while I was going to high school. I had got in trouble, and my father had just came home from on a vacation, and my mother sent me out here to kind of get to know him or whatnot. I got introduced. I went from North Las Vegas to pretty much like Southeast Portland, borderline Milwaukee. You know, I went to Marshall High School for like 6 months. Went back to Vegas, came back. I went to Milwaukee High. So it's definitely a culture shock. But it was just when I was at Milwaukee, I came back and I was like kind of upset I was here. So I didn't want people to know who I was.
Oh, gotcha.
So I used to rap at Milwaukee High School. I used to do battles at Milwaukee High School. But before I even, like, I was battling before I even had my name. But people would always ask me, like, what's your name? And I'd just be like, City from Jersey City. I'm City from Jersey City, right?
Okay.
And it stuck. And it was just like, wow, it got to a point, like, I forgot that I had pressed that so long to the point that I had got comfortable rapping out here. That I had a situation where somebody was like trying to get at me, like, it's the West Coast on mine. I'm like, hold on, man, I'm from the West Coast too. And I forgot, like, oh, hold on, man, you been telling these people you mad, you don't want them to know where you from. You been telling them your name City from Jersey City. So I was like, nah, I gotta switch it up. Then I changed it to City Limit.
Okay.
But a lot of people heard the limit and was like, oh, it's a limit to you. What are y'all? What are you, like the speed limit? Or like, oh no, we got to change that. And I'm like, what other better? I like a lot of like Greek anthropology and things of that nature. And Alexander the Great was one of the fellows that I followed as I was in school. I just loved his story. Crazy ending, but I loved his story.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And that's where the great guy had it on. Also, as well, I traveled forever. Like, I've been everywhere. So the city really stuck from that. But ultimately, it started as, you know, just a rebellious ass teenager. Like, I don't want y'all to know where I'm from. I'm mad I'm even here. Don't talk to me. My name's City from Jersey City. Who want to battle? Yeah,
it was almost like you gave yourself a term of endearment.
Right.
And then eventually it just kind of became...
And it just stuck.
You endeared past it.
Yeah, it's just stuck. It just stuck.
I love that. All right, now let's go ahead and let's talk about your writing process.
Okay.
And we're going to break it up into a few chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning.
Okay.
So when you get inspired, you feel the urge to make music. What are some of the first things you do when it comes to putting a song together?
I'm really like on the moment, anywhere. There's no uncomfortable position for me to do my music. I like. It's funny because, like, the people that be around me, like, when I be writing, it's more so, like, they be so, like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to walk out the room. I be like, no, you good. It didn't go bother me. Like, I'm cool. Like, it's not going to throw nothing off. But it kind of is like, damn, I respect that y'all respect my music enough like that. But, like, I can really record. It don't matter it could be 100 people in a room. I can hear 3 different beats at one time. But if my tunnel vision is telling me that this is what I'm writing to. This is what I'm writing to. Oh, yeah. Kind of come from my athletic background too, like sports, being tunneled in with that basketball or boxing.
Oh, interesting.
So, like,
actually, since you brought up sports, something I've been trying to dig more into whenever people bring it up is a bit of a correlation between the experience in music and the experience in sports.
Oh, easy.
So, what are some of the things that you find you experience that are similar in both music and sports? Like it can be physical aspects, it can be mental aspects, but what are some of the correlations between the two?
If it wasn't for my 7th grade basketball team,
Mhm.
I don't think I would have ever been ready for a stage. And what I mean by that, like, I played for a middle school where, you know, it wasn't just basketball for us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you represented a side of town, you know what I'm saying? If you played for Jim Bridger or you played for Von Tobel, we can't lose to West.
Yeah.
We can't lose to Brindley, or we can't lose to a Becker. This is in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it was also in the crowd. It proceeded out to the crowds to the point, like, man, even in middle schools, like, some of the crowds that I played for in middle school was like playing in an NBA stadium. You know what I'm saying? They ain't sparing us because we 12 and 13. And yeah, I bust your ass on the court at the Martin Luther King tournament. Remember that? Yeah, we was that.
Yeah.
And being in front of those crowds and with those pressures, you know, it just made me comfortable around crowds.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, if you can make it in a Northtown crowd, you good. You good. You good, because they going to tell you about yourself for sure.
Yeah.
And it's all love, but it might come in the most abrasive way, but they going to definitely let you know, hey, man, yeah, I love you, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's go ahead and you don't want to try to sell cars or real estate. That's not it. You know, my neighborhood does not have no issue letting you know what's going on.
No, I
love that.
Hell yeah. That's a perspective that hasn't really been touched on yet either. Because a lot of people, like, you know, they're like, I like the repetition for me, like practicing for music and sports and things like that.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people talk about the in front of a crowd experience being a shared one for both. So thank you for bringing that up. This is why I bring it up every time.
Man, nah, for real.
But we'll go ahead and get back into your writing process. Let's not tangent too far from that.
No problem.
So, did you have any more to say on the beginning part of writing music?
Just my writing process. I might start with an original beat, but I might let 10 beats run, because the thing is, I get packs of beats from different producers. Like, I have a couple working relationships with producers where they'll send me 10 or 15 beats, and then I try to make my music, as far as written, universal, to where even though it may not be on the same subject as that beat, but I'm able to say it on that beat in a way that's still catchy to the ear.
Oh yeah.
Like, I want every song to sound like a uniform. Yeah, I got a weird uniform to my sound, because if you notice in my music, every verse I spit slow. It's a point where I spit slow. It's a point where I spit fast, and I pay attention to my voice fluctuation.
Okay.
So, like, that's like what creates my sound.
Yeah.
And that plays a major part, like, especially the voice fluctuation. Like, it plays a major role in my writing, because it could be a basic line in my mind, it could be a basic line to me, but it'd be just how I say it that make it just like, oh, he made a stop on grape, and it just hit different how he's, you know. So, like, I just I go in with I try to stay on subject matter. I definitely like to, you know, if we got a subject, let's stick to subject. If it's freestyle, let's freestyle. And I don't like to stick into just one body of music, because I have times where I feel my music, not necessarily a writer block, but I'll fall into a life space. Like, your life directs your music. Yeah. Like, when you're going through when you're going through something, like, all the music you're putting out is just like this dope pain music. I don't like falling in just a dope pain or just all the way turned up. I like to have, like, a multifaceted balance on my writing process.
It definitely makes you more relatable, I imagine. You know what I mean? If more people can correlate with your music in different moods and different settings, then your music just reaches more people.
No, for real.
Yeah. Well, then, you know, we're all humans. Like,
reality rap.
We all have feelings. We all have good days. We all have bad days. Like, you know, we all can't party all of the time. And sometimes we're sad.
And that's my thing. Like, I resonate, like, being that, you know, I got a colorful background. We ain't gonna get into too much of it, but, like, I can resonate with a person that talks, like, it's a rapper that I don't even know this gentleman's name, but I seen him on Instagram, and all he does is rap about a 9 to 5. But it's something about his music that catches my ear more than a young boy. Like I'm making sure I'm catching every Instagram he put out.
Oh, yeah.
But it's because I resonate to where he's at on his regular every day. Like every day we're not superstars. Every day we're not these super tough thugs with 100 guns, and you know that gets tired.
Yeah.
That gets you put a target on your back you may not want with that kind of energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, shoot, you even look at, I butcher this line from Jay-Z every time, but there's a line he has where he says, you know, I don't stand up here all day talking about how I be in the hallways all day.
No, for
like,
real.
you know, he admits that he's gotten to where he is now.
Yeah.
And so I think, you know, that over time that becomes important. Like that I think, you know, it's part of growth. I mean, you look at people like Tyler, the Creator, who you can see his whole life in his music. Like you can tell where he is in life because he checks in with you. He's like, this is where I am in life.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I feel like that's the double-edged sword because it could be like, that's dope because we can resonate with where he's at, but also it's a higher population of people that are easily not manipulated, but like they'll listen to the music and create a lifestyle off of your of your pain instead of it being like, oh, I resonate where you were at when you was in your music, in that position. And that's the scary part. Like I do a lot of music that can be confused, but I don't want it to be confused like I'm promoting just a certain type of energy. Yeah. It's just my past experience and I'm just learning with my experience. Like once I get to a point in life where, I mean, I am at that point in life, but I just had to put out a certain part of music to give a general idea of where it came from. And
totally.
I look at it, I call like my genre, I call it reality rap. It's not gangster. It's not. It's reality.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Now, for the next part of the writing process, let's talk about when you're done with a song. So you finished the track, you have everything written, you're ready to start practicing it and getting ready to go out there. How long does it take you to get comfortable performing a song from when it's done writing to like you could just do it back of your hand?
That's a good question, man. Because I can say I don't like to record a song unless I've said it at least 500 times because I don't feel like you don't get comfortable into the melody until about 100, 150. You don't get comfortable with your breathing until about 200, 300. And then at that time, if you want to, like I play with my voice fluctuation, that's what I'm doing with that last 100 rounds, 400 to 500. Before I actually go to the lab. Also, as well, it costs money. So, like, I'm not, like, that's when I shout out to Trick Daddy. Like, I remember when he was on 106 in Park. It stuck out to me. They asked him, they was like, what's one of your processes when you go to the studio? He say, first off, I'm paying for all of my studio time. So when I go in the studio, I'm not going in the studio to say nothing I ain't already know what I was finna say already and knew how I wanted to say it. Yeah. So we not wasting time. I mean, the homeboys could be there, but if you're not in the work element, I need you to, veer to the back. Yeah. But, we still move around because, it's only, you want to be all business, but it's like sometimes you got to just live a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to live a little. Yeah. You can't just, nobody in the studio, but just know what we're doing when we're in the studio.
Yeah, don't slow down the process.
That part.
You can hang out, you can enjoy it, but don't slow it down.
That part.
Yeah.
So, I'm just... calculated. Just understand that everything has a reason. We on a schedule.
I mean, also too, that's kind of an older approach too. Like I think that's something that is really looked past, partly because most people can do it in their house, quote unquote, and they're fine with what they get from that. But when you're going into the studio, you should go into the studio with something that you've just into the ground. You know what I mean? Like you should have those 10,000 hours, those 500 performances, like. Because, back in the day, like way back in, like I'm going way before either of our days, you used to have to pay to record the vinyl. You would record one track
on the DAT.
And you were like, I gotta get that here. So my like Iron Maiden's earliest work and stuff like that, they were paying for one song at a time because it's all they could do. Right. But they showed up ready to go.
Like $1,000 demo.
Yeah, exactly. And that was breaking the bank for them. You know what I mean? So like showing up ready to go. Also, engineers and producers, they love that. They appreciate the shit out of that. So if you show up good to go, they're going to be like, oh, well, you have so much extra time. Let's knock out this. Let's work on that. Let's talk about this. They know that you're not going to waste their time, and that brings respect.
Right. Like, I can remember my first studio setup that I ever recorded in. Mm-hmm. It was in a studio. I don't know if you remember on PlayStation 1, DJ Scribble dropped Music Generator.
Hell yeah.
It was like the Fruity Loops on PlayStation.
Yep.
So my partner, you know, he mastered how to make beats on the Fruity Loops, and we'll literally play the beats off of the TV. But we had an old radio, the cassette radio, one side, I don't know how he did it, but he like rigged it to where like one side will record and the other side would have the tape actually recording it on the tape.
Oh, okay.
But we got to do the whole take at once.
Yep.
We never wanted one person on the song.
Yeah.
So it'd be like 4 people on the song. We'll make it to like the third verse and somebody mess up. I mean, like literally, man, I don't know if we was trying to be like a death row or what. Like, dude, you'll mess up on them songs and you might have to go in the back and holler at somebody.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember those days and it was dope because thank God they were free. But like, at the same token, it also built, like when I came into the studio, it helped me be like, yeah, you know, I make sure you ready on your record because, man, look, you might gotta go in that back room and you know, but like, yeah, it just made me make sure I got that extra craft. But you can never be too prepared also as well. Like,
true.
We human.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're going to do it different every time. And I think, you know, that's kind of one of the benefits of the way we record now is that you can capture truly the perfect moment. Like, right. I think that, you know, we can design the best experience for when you're going to listen to it over and over and over again. But that's why, and I try to point this out on the show as often as I can, the performance element today is the most important.
No, for
like
real.
How you perform it, because you're not focusing on perfection
right.
for a performance. You're focusing on the performance.
Right.
You're focusing on bringing the best experience for both parties. Like, you should have fun.
Right.
You should be having fun while you're performing. That shouldn't be excluded. But everybody else should be having fun watching you perform, and they shouldn't get exactly what they could get on the record. You know what I mean? Like that performance should be its own experience.
Yeah, and then, man, I'm glad you touched on that because, you know, it gets into what you put in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just had a situation, man, last week. You know, I've literally rehearsed this song all the way up to the door of the performance. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it was nerves or what. I've never had it happen to me before, but I'm literally trying to say my words in my head. I'm saying my words, but I'm literally on stage like, yeah. And I started laughing because it came out like that. Literally, I'm like, what's going on? And it threw me off because I started laughing. I'm closing my eyes. But it shows that, you know,
you're human.
Yeah. And not only that, no matter how comfortable you are in your craft, it's always room for you know, perfection.
Yeah.
There's always room to get better.
Well, there's always going to be human error, I think, is something I would take away from that story. Like, there is never going to be 100% perfection, but I think what truly shows like a seasoned performer is somebody who can let that moment happen,
right,
but not let it slow down the performance.
No, for real.
I always run back. This is like the first time I ever saw something like this. So I always call back to it. I was watching Metallica play Ride the Lightning on their Binge and Purge album, like their live tour. Like, they were playing in front of millions of people in Mexico. Yeah. And during Ride the Lightning, one of their most iconic songs, he forgot the words. Like, you know, done this millions and millions of times.
Right.
Well, but at least hundreds of thousands.
Right.
But this is a big deal performance. They were filming it, and in the middle, he's just like, I forgot the fucking word. But he did it on cadence. He did it on, you know, with the movement, and nobody
noticed.
The whole crowd was just like, oh, he forgot the words, and he's still going. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's when you know you've reached that level as a performer, when you cannot even let forgetting the words ruin the song.
Yeah, like my go-to for a story like that is Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
I seen Beyonce, I believe it was in Australia, you know, and, you know, we know how big her performances and her productions are. This woman fell down the stairs.
Oh, no.
Multiple stairs in the middle of a performance. Jumped up. It wasn't no time to say, let me see if I'm bleeding. She jumped back up and got right back in sequence.
Yep.
Not just perform and sing. She jumped back up and got back in the rotation of her dance sequence. And that always stuck out to me. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, the show must go on, especially at that level.
Exactly.
Like, it's a reason why she's getting $1,800 a ticket, because,
yeah,
you know, like, it's nothing that's going to stop that show.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing.
And, you know, the work that goes into those kinds of things, for sure. Like, when you have choreographing and, like, stage design and, you know, set changes and, like, outfit changes and things like that, you're going behind something for 3 seconds so somebody can yank on your shoulder piece so that, like, stuff comes out. Like, there's so much involved in that, but also the adrenaline kicks in at a certain.
Right.
I bet you she took the longest ice bath after that one.
No, for real.
But during it, like, when you fall, like, you know, it's just like in playing sports. When you get hurt in sports, you don't even notice it half the time.
Until
You know what I
you
mean?
take that shoe off.
Yeah, you look down, like, I was bruised and bleeding this whole time. Like, you know, there's something that feels good about recovering from those kinds of things. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks that it happens, but when your only focus is on the saved it,
right,
back in it, like you just don't even think about that.
Right.
That's a whole different type of reward in the more unfortunate, but kind of a great way.
And I can absolutely agree, because it was like, man, shout out to Kuna, shout out to Swiggle Mandela, shout out to Figure Eight. They were actually the judges of the contest, and all of them gentlemen, well, 2 of the gentlemen see me perform prior, but to see me do that, they still is like, I respect that.
Yeah.
You still push through. I respect that. You know, I know what you performed, and I'm like, yeah, man, like, I'm trying. I don't even want to put it on, it was my first time performing without all my lyrics on my song. So, but I don't want to put it on that. That wasn't what it was.
Yeah.
But I was able to not be stuck into the embarrassment that I got so much dope advice about my stage presence that I didn't know, because a lot of people don't.
Exactly.
Tell me, they be so lost in, like, just, oh man, you're nice, you got nice words.
Yeah.
But they don't actually pay attention to, like, I'm big on that. Like, I'm watching Rolling Loud. I'm watching Rolling Loud performances and everything. Like, I study artists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I study artists, is not to take from their performances, but just to see what you may react, what made them people react to Michael Jackson like how they did. You know what I'm saying? I could never do nothing on the dancing nature, nothing like Mike. But, like, I just want to be able to make people, I want to, in my way, resonate.
Yeah.
Like,
you want to give that experience.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So.
All right. We're going to go ahead and this is more of a, like, wide span question, but it's the last of the writing process focus.
Okay.
I want you to look at from the beginning of this year to now, and we're pretty much done. So we can just say this whole year.
Yeah.
How has your process changed? How has it evolved?
I'm gonna be real with you, Jimmy. My writing process didn't exist until June.
Okay.
Because,
and what was that like?
It's crazy. I know it's crazy, right? Like, I had honestly stopped doing music for 10 years. I stopped performing and everything.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And I wanted to switch over to the clothing industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an artist, shout out to G-Lo, I was doing his merch for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I had pulled up to one of the local shows out here to deliver his merch. And when I walked in, I was introduced to a guy, Bobby Bars. And he walked up to me like, just like, you would have thought he knew me already. Like, man, you ready to perform?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm not here to perform, but I got something in email, but why not? Let's shits and giggles. Why not?
Yeah.
And I got on stage, and it just, when I touched that stage, it woke something back up. Man.
Yep.
You know, like, I always wrote music, like, but it wasn't like I was recording or anything. I just write a song here, write a song there.
Yeah.
But I had, I ain't gonna say I never fall out of love with music, but it was just, life was lifing on me. Life was lifing, and I couldn't give the dedication to the music, that the quality of music I like putting out.
No, I resonate with that one for sure.
Yeah, so
for sure. So then, what brought you back then? What made you go back at it full time?
Just being in a transition of markets. Like, the last 5 years, or I'd say 5 to 7 years has been crazy because I got to see multiple music markets, and I got to see them at long periods of times at a time. You know, being in Vegas for 22 years, then transporting over to Arizona, I got to see the Phoenix scene for about 3 years, and then I'm just coming out here. I got my year out here, but prior to here, I was a year in North Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I got to see a little bit of the Texas environment, which each environment has their own, you know, niche. But I feel like it helped me. It kind of like gave me like the cheat code, because it's like, okay, I kind of know what their ear is in Texas. I know what the ear is in Louisiana, because I've been out there just not necessarily making music, but listening as a fan to the music that they listening to. Because when I was in Texas, I was just on the more so fan side. People knew I did music, but I wasn't really in tune with the music. I'm trying to get the knowledge to try to put these clothes out at that time. That's when the idea really started.
Oh yeah. Also, I think it's important just in a life approach for people. Like, you should leave your hometown. You know what I mean? People have to get out of their space.
You have to.
But if you're going to go and experience music, you should definitely go and experience music at as many places as possible, because there's just the mentality of the space will always be like that space.
Right.
But what makes it that way is the fact that it is a weird influence of outside and inside, but it is mainly what's inside of it.
Right.
So if you can go and be in that for a little bit and learn from it, you're going to have a perspective that people who have never left their space just can't know. You know what I mean?
And that's a dope thing. And it's like, because in Vegas, a lot of people have the misperception. I ain't gonna say in Vegas, but outside perspective, looking into Vegas, people they be like, man, you from Vegas? Why you not on already?
Yeah.
I say, you got to understand, like, I come from a city like Vegas. Now we're like prone hip hop, but like it was a top 40 city until like 2005, 2010. So like, if you're not, your hip hop isn't, you know, top Billboard 100. We wasn't getting no, like the Gucci mans we getting now on the strip. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, to see it grow to that, and also as well, not just even the hip hop scene. Like, you gotta understand, like, at one point in time on the strip, Boyz II Men was performing 5 days a week. Celine Dion, Britney Spears. These are like once in a million showliners. That's, you know, people coming all over the world to see these people.
Exactly.
It's hard to get a gist of the underground scene, but it's definitely growing, and it's growing, and it's starting to be we starting to be something to reckon with.
Oh yeah.
And it's dope, and that's why I come up here, because I want to, you know, integrate, you know, different markets and let people know, because it's so much, like, you know, it's a competition to a degree we're supposed to have, but like, we got to be open to working in different markets to expand. If you want to expand as a brand, how you going to expand if you don't go nowhere else? No, I want to be the best rapper in Las Vegas. No. I don't even want to be the best. I just want music heard everywhere. I want people to be like, you know what? I heard that guy's city. He resonated with me. He's all right with me.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
Hell yeah.
Of course, make some money out of it, but
yeah, I mean, if it can pay the bills,
you know, I mean, just a little bit, a little bit, you know. But
hell yeah,
yeah,
awesome. All right, now for this next question, I want you to look at your current sound, so the music that would be either accessible to people online or you're currently performing. Okay, and I want you to think about and tell us about what are some of the elements of that music that you enjoy. Like, what are some of the aspects of those sounds that you appreciate?
I can appreciate how the whole message of hip hop is still alive. Sometimes people don't understand it because the message that's getting out may not resonate to them because of the type of words or things that they putting out in the thing. But ultimately, you know, not lyrical content wise, but you got to look at it. NBA Youngboy's lyrics like a Public Enemy, because Public Enemy has something to say too back in the day. Yeah. Youngboy has something to say. He speaks for a demographic. It may not be everybody's demographic, but he speaks for a demographic just the same way that Chuck D and, you know, Flavor Flav pushed for P&E. And they pushed their message. That's what it was all about. Like, hip-hop wasn't about just, oh, I'm better than you, I'm flashier than you. No, it was freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
Talking for the people that don't got a voice.
I was gonna say it was an opportunity.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like I want to talk for my partner that don't rap. You know, I have a whole bunch of those homies. You know, and they don't care to be in the limelight, and that's dope. And for that, I like to be that representation. I don't even like being in the limelight, but if I got to be the representation in the limelight for us, I like taking my position. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what hit for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I love everybody like my music, but when I go back home or I tap back in and somebody just like, man, I see what you're doing. I've been watching your lives and I see what you're doing out in Portland or I see what you're doing out in Vancouver. Mm-hmm. Keep it going, man. Like, keep doing what you're doing because, man, we know what you came from. You know, but like, I like that. And it's a dope motivation. Not only also as well, my kids, like my daughter's getting more involved in my music now. It's crazy.
Hell yeah. You know, I appreciate the focus on the response to your music. Because, like, you know, you shouldn't just write music for other people. That's never the priority. You should write music for you that people can correlate with.
Right.
But your focus on it seems so appropriate. Like the way that you want it perceived by being your true self is something that it shows a lot of mindfulness in your music. And I think, that's something that it can take you a long way, but it just lets you kind of be in a good place right from the start. And that's not something everybody has, but it's something everybody should aspire towards.
Man, right. And it's like, I like to do a lot of what we call double conundrums or, it has double meanings to it. Like, I'll say something like, I just said, Town niggas haven't just seen Blue in a Maybach. Now, I'm in Portland to hear Town. You know, y'all say Town too. Mm-hmm. But I'm from North Las Vegas. I'm talking about Northtown. But it resonates both ways. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, when people hear it out here and they be like, man, are you talking, man, if that's how you rock with it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's made for. It's made for universal connection. Mm-hmm. But the same way that a stranger can resonate with it, somebody in my neighborhood can hear that and be like, oh, yeah, I know talking about he said the gates.
Yep.
Yeah, we know he on. Yeah, he said the gates. But yeah.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Now for this next one, we just got done talking about, all the things, all the experiences, all the outward moments that music presents and are received because of. But now I want to look inward.
Okay.
And this is the last question for this portion, but this is probably the densest question. What is it, or when it's just you and the music, just one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
Peace of mind. I get lost sometimes. Like, I hold a lot of jackets, and with holding them jackets, you can easily get deterred. You feel like you're making a lot of progresses. And sometimes when I feel like it's just too much, sometimes like I get aggressive. I mean, not aggressive, but I get, in a space. Sometimes just writing that song, and it don't necessarily have to be an angry song. I done wrote one of my best club songs, angry. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that's my release. I'm getting a little too old to be out here boxing.
Yeah,
at first it was that, but these kids hit hard. We got to put it on paper now. We got to release it a different way. But yeah, no, I just it give me peace of mind. I listen to some of the lyrics, and they speak for people that ain't here no more. They speak for memories of times that I know I won't get that moment back, and not necessarily just in loss, but just like. We only live once.
Yeah.
We end the day. Yesterday is over. Mm-hmm. But like going back and listening to like songs like Point of View, and I hear bars where I'll speak of my grandmother or my great grandmother, and it'd just take me back to times at their house, man. Like, I don't want to get too emotional in here, but it just take me back to like just nostalgic times in South Central or nostalgic times in North Las Vegas where it was before it was okay, Lamar was still Lamar. It's not City the brand,
Yeah.
you know? So, yeah.
No, I feel that. And I mean, I think that even, that correlates to what you were saying earlier about how just like the dynamics of emotion in your music can continue to exist.
No, for real.
So it's cool that you can create moments that you get to relive for yourself.
Right.
Because, even though you say, you focus on the music being so easy to resonate with everybody, it circles back to what I was saying about how you should write for you as well.
No,
so putting those kinds of things in, I think, is just a stronger representation of you doing both at the same time.
Right. Like, it's like selfishly, I write my music for me. Yeah. Like it's like my therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But for the world, it's like they like it. So it's like dope. It
was like what you said about the guy who raps about his 9 to 5. Like, people will resonate with you when you're being honest.
Right.
Because honesty,
you can feel it.
Everybody can agree on. You know what I mean? Even if they don't agree with what you're saying, they can agree on the truth.
Right.
Because, that is kind of the definition of it. So like I said, I've pointed it out a few times, but that's very, very present in the way that you describe your music, and that's appreciated.
No, man, yeah.
But now let's go ahead. We're going to move on to some hypothetical questions.
Hey, now.
And these ones, literally sky's the limit, because they're all made up.
Okay.
All these answers are whatever you want.
No wrong answer.
Exactly.
Hypothesis.
Exactly. This first one, it's a pretty open-ended question, but if you could work with any one person that's currently alive, it's the only real requirement, but you could work with them in any capacity, any way you want, who would you want to work with?
Sade.
Hell yeah.
Sade.
Yeah. Oh man, that's such a good answer.
Sade. Like, I know it'll never happen. I'm like, I want to work with her, but at this point, like, she's so far beyond. Like, I'll be too starstruck.
I try to think like that when it comes to like people I would want to like talk to or get on the show and things like that. But then I remember some of the like realest people in it, they don't stop being real about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, look at like Erykah Badu.
Right.
Something? She is just outside all
I was
the
going
time.
to say
She's
Erykah.
just all about it all the time. Like, you can tell. Like, if I walked up to her and started asking her questions, I know she would give answers. You know what I mean? Like,
talk.
she just lives that life.
No, like 2008, I moved to Dallas for the first time ever. And I stayed there for like a year. Erykah Badu shot a video. She's originally from Dallas, but she shot a video downtown where she literally walked through downtown stripping and got arrested. Like, made the news for it and everything.
Yeah.
And her creative is so dope, even through going through the real life. She got bailed out by Rick Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Ross and her shot the video for the remix at the bail bonds office. Like, I love this. Like, it gets no more raw than that. And I was actually in Dallas when she did that. I wasn't downtown. But just like, man, just that nerve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
lack thereof even. You know what I mean? Just
effortless.
Just
I love.
Yeah.
It is that. Erykah Badu, it's crazy. I was going to say her, but like, Erykah is just like a different energy. Like, that's a whole different world.
Yeah.
That's a whole different world.
Hell yeah.
Definitely.
And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
I'm not going to say that we haven't connect, but we've been hit and miss, and it's more so on my end. We're going to tie it up. But Indo Slim.
Okay.
Indo Slim. We've been talking about working, and like I said, it's been more so on my half. My schedule's been a little crazy.
I feel it.
But
I feel it.
That guy, I've been listening to his music since I've been out here, and man, dope body of work.
Oh yeah.
Dope representation of the city, man. And I like what they doing right now. So like, I like Indo. It's a couple art like, I got a couple features out here, but like, couple artists like, I want one with Swiggle.
Yeah,
I get one with Swiggle. Cool Nuts, of course. Like, Cinnawin.
Yeah,
like that'd be that. I like Cinnawin, but it's too many to name. Like, as far it's crazy. It's like when it came to like major artists, I'm like, oh, I got one. But when it comes to just up here who I want to work with everybody. But it's like so many people, like so many dope energies.
Oh, believe me, I know.
No,
I know. I'm trying to get all of them on here.
No, you didn't hit the list. You didn't hit it. You didn't hit them here, man.
Hell yeah. All right. Now for this next one, like I said before, literally sky's the limits here.
Okay.
But if you could perform anywhere in the world and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access, building stability, power, guaranteed best lineup, guaranteed best show, everything would work flawlessly. And it doesn't have to be a venue. It can be anywhere. Where would you want to perform?
Dubai or Ibiza.
Okay.
And I say Dubai because I know if they hear my music out there, we definitely gonna have some. We're gonna come out of that with business for sure. Every artist I've seen ever perform in Dubai hasn't came back with nothing but more to their brand.
Yeah.
So Dubai, and I say Ibiza because like those summer parties in Ibiza is like epic. Like that's world. So like you perform in Ibiza, your music's gonna go for sure to different continents, different countries.
Yeah.
And be heard. Like, no, they're gonna remember, like, man, that one time I was high off of Molly 3 days in Ibiza. Like they're gonna remember that. Like,
yeah. I think also once you come back, you have to pronounce it Ibiza.
Oh, that's how it is?
I think, don't get me on that. That's just a running bit I heard.
Oh.
But you have to go there first.
Bet.
Go there and then come back. Say it the right way.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then to wrap up the hypothetical question, if you could get an album, or if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have just put out an album yesterday, they could have never put out an album ever. But if you can get an album from anybody, who would you want an album from, and when would you wanted the album to come out? That second half is when we just started adding on, by the way.
It's crazy, yeah. Like, I low-key, I would have had an answer for, Andre 3000 would have been the answer up till like 2 weeks ago.
Like I said, they could have just put out one yesterday. Like,
it would have been him up to 2 weeks ago.
Now.
Like, that was what I was waiting. I was waiting for Andre. But like, it happened, since Andre happened, an album that I wish I could hear. I want to hear the second Nate Dogg solo album.
Hell yeah.
Like, people don't understand Nate had one album and a career of almost 30 years now. Like, he had one album and he passed away right after that album came out. So, like, to hear what he would have did after Music and Me, like,
yeah,
I can only
can't even begin.
Man, can you imagine the Nate Dogg hook in 2023? Like, come on, man. Like,
that's a really good answer.
No, for real.
Hell yeah.
Like Nate, yeah. No, for real.
Hell yeah. All right, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. Why don't you tell us what we can look forward to in the first quarter of 2024?
First quarter of 2024, we looking at My Life is a Movie. Also, as well, the release of the video for Fully Equipped. The clothing line, Drip Society Clothing, we're going to be taking off with our winter early spring collection. I've been putting pieces out. You got a little bit of our old grant.
You'll see that on a future episode for sure.
Man, the Hustle Drip. We don't even put Hustle Drip out no more.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I just more clothes, more shows. I'll be at Karan's EP party this 14th. Yeah, I'll be at his EP party on Thursday this coming up. So, but yeah, just more work, just networking and moving, man.
Hell yeah.
Networking and moving.
Oh, yeah. And then for this next one, go ahead and look straight at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you.
Man, you can tap in with me on Insta or Snap at CITY, the letter D, GREAT. As far as my artist pages, and also as well, if you want to tap in for the clothing, be sure to add the clothing Insta, and that's at, Drip Society Clothing, at Drip Society Clothing, and yeah, tap in with us.
Hell yeah! It'll also be on the screen right next to you when you're talking about it. So
already,
they'll know for sure.
Already.
And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you'd like to put on while you're on here?
Man, shout out my guy Bobby Bars and everybody over there at the Day Shift, and the things that we've been doing with the city. Any artist that I've worked with, and I could get the naming all day, so we're not gonna just get to putting the full list. But any artists out here in the Northwest that I've already tapped in with, if I haven't tapped in with you, let's work, because I'm just open to working, man. I'm just a networking melting pot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hell yeah.
But yeah, that's just it. Just ready to work and expand, get out there and try some different things.
Hell yeah.
Maybe get on somebody's screen, act. This is my first podcast, so already we
glad to have you on here. You're fine. All right, now we've got one last question to go.
Okay.
But before we do, I'm gonna steal the camera for just a second.
Bet that.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary. Remember, the holidays are over, but they're still here. Click the link below, get you some. And with that being said, the final question.
All right.
And this is entirely up to your interpretation.
Okay.
But what is an album that you would consider to be more on the obscure side that you think everybody should know?
The Love Below.
Just for the people at home, tell them who that's by.
Andre 3000.
See, now would you call that obscure?
To certain ears. I mean, you got to understand, everybody doesn't understand what Hey Y'all was. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
I guess that's true.
More people, like, even with the album, like when they put out Speaker Box and The Love Below, it was a double. And more, I seen, to me, people attracted more to the Speaker Box or
that's fair.
Big Boy side than they did, like, She Lives in My Lap, epic. Like, I'm
fair.
Like, you know,
I get what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's just, man, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Andre, The Love Below, or Larry June, Port of San Francisco.
Okay, hell yeah.
I like that because, yeah, Larry talk about the game, but that's not the bigger message of his music, and I feel like a lot of people miss a lot of the golden things that he be putting in there because they only see like, oh, he said pimp, or he said, you know what I'm saying? Like, it take away from the ultimate. But yeah, like, that's one that I think people should give a second year.
Hell yeah. All right. We're going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
A pleasure, man. Pleasure, Jimmy.
Hell yeah. This has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm City the Great.
And we're signing off later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.